Hello everyone, good evening. This is a video I've wanted to make for a very long time, which is why, because of the very high production value of this channel, it's being recorded at 1:58 a.m. Alright, so this video, oh that's a bit too bright. See, professional lighting. This video will be on the IB, and it's just some thoughts that I wanted to talk about to my massive audience from all over the world. Uh, This will be a two-part video. It's going to be a very long video, but I have nothing better to do. This is a way of procrastinating, I guess you could say. So the first part will basically be ranking my classes. Um, and then and then I will talk about, as I'm talking about each class, I will talk about how I would modify it or what I don't like. Heads up, I'm not sure how to improve every single class. I think that some are just hopeless. And in the second part, I'll talk about the IB as a whole and the college process. Now that I'm a rising senior, it's getting very worryingly close. I'm looking at my the date in the bottom right, and it's the 28th of August, and early applications from many U.S. colleges and are due by the 1st of November. So not much time left. So, oh yeah, I should also say that this is all my opinion. This is not targeted to anyone. I think that all my teachers are great, but I feel like just some classes are very weird. And with that, we begin with my least favorite class, and I think the least well-designed class there is in the IB. English. Oh, what am I doing? I should probably state all my classes. Okay, so I'm doing math AAHL, physics HL from next year, English HL from next year, Spanish SL, Spanish ab initio, business management, and I forgot the last one. Oh yeah, computer science. I was working on my computer science site for the past couple hours and I forgot. So everything I will say in this video is my opinion and it's based on the class itself. So, starting with English. Why is English so bad, you might ask? Well, as you may or may not know, every single IB course has a certain guidebook to it, which is like 80 pages, which gives you the rundown about everything related to that class, the IA, the exams, the syllabus, the topics, suggested teaching things for teachers, tips for students, a bunch of stuff. And in most classes, the syllabus part is the most relevant one for students, obviously. But the English syllabus is, let's just say that rather than being 50 pages, it's one page, and it says 50 hours to read for readers, for 50 hours for writers, 50 hours for text. I have no idea what that is. I remember we talked about it on the first day of English class, readers, writers, text, or something. English does not have a syllabus. When we look at the exams, um, paper one, I actually like paper one. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty. We haven't actually practiced paper one, so I'm just going off my intuition, but I can't be biased against it. I think I like it. It's a cool concept. You're given a paper, and sorry, a non-literary piece of work, like an article, blah blah, and you have to analyze it. I think it's good. I think it's good. But paper two, I mean, perhaps I might be slightly biased because I don't really. Perhaps I'll give. Okay, how do I not say this offending anyone? I believe that paper two, for us, is just my opinion, has been slightly overcomplicated and made more difficult than it needs to be. But in general, it's such a stupid exam because you're basically memorizing 20 quotes from two books, and then you're memorizing an essay structure, and then you're going to the exam hall, you're printing out your essay structure, which you've memorized, and then you change 3 words according to the exam, according to the prompt. Um, I don't feel like it's really anything. I feel like it's just reproducing a ready-made essay, and the IB surely knows that everyone does this. Like they're not surely they don't think that someone's gonna start experimenting during the exam. I don't like it. I don't, then again, I don't have anything better to suggest because with English you have the issue of plagiarism. If you give someone like a week to prepare, they just get a tutor and they get an easy 7. So I'm not trying to say that I have better alternatives, but the current system, I don't think it's that good. And probably I'm getting shivers just thinking about this because it's due in 9 days and I haven't done it. But I don't like this summit either. The English IA, the AKA the IO. Now this isn't the worst IA. We'll get to the worst one. It's computer science. This isn't the worst IA, but it's um it's pretty awkward. You have to I mean no actually now that I think about it, I really don't like this IA. It's basically, if you don't know, a 10-minute speech about 2 works of literature and about the body of work of the respective authors. Um, sorry, one literary, one non-literary, and you have to compare global issues. Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about this. It's not a fun assignment. It's basically writing a 1,500 word essay or so, memorizing it, walking into the exam room, saying it word for word, um, and then trying to get the questions that they're asked correct. I don't know. I feel like, once again, there's a problem with tutors. They should just get your tutor to write it for you and you do well. I guess that's true, but I'm not saying that I have a better alternative, but I don't like English at all. I feel like the class is. I feel like English class, at least at my school, is very unstructured, but I feel like it's the course's fault. The course is literally non existent. There is no course, there is no syllabus. And we don't, for paper two, you might say, oh, you have to learn the books for paper two. No, you don't have to learn the books for paper two. You have to memorize two, three similarities, two, three differences, 10 quotes, and then just change 3 words. It's not writing, it's just memorization and speed writing, trying to throw words down on pieces of paper. I remember in the exam, after the mock, one of my friends had written like 20 pages, which is quite a bit. No, not 20. Anyways, quite a bit. It's not a fun exam. It's not a fun class. I don't like it. I don't know how I would improve it, but yeah. I mean, I know how to improve other classes, and I'll say them later, but I don't really know for English. Now, the next spot is very weird because I actually quite like every other class. Oh, never mind. Other than business management. Once again, this isn't by swords, and I just think the course is a bit weird. Oh, I should mention my scores. For English, I was predicted a high 5 because I'm an idiot and I messed up my IA. I was studying for computer science. For business, I got a high 7. Business, let's see. Paper one's the case study. If I remember correctly, it would be pretty embarrassing to get it wrong. But paper one's the case study, which is, to be honest, I will be very neutral on this because we haven't done it in class and I haven't really read up on this. Paper two, though, is the more proper paper. We have mini case studies, then you have a big Coogie's essay. Who? No, actually, I'm not gonna. I don't think it's as bad as English, but I can understand the first 2 parts, where it's just asking you to read a small text and then comment on it. To be honest, I'm slightly forgetting everything about business. I haven't really engaged with the material in a pretty long time, but I can see the first part, section A and section B. Oh yeah, I remember now. You have to choose. And okay, Oh wait, I remember now. I remember now. Okay, section A. Section A is a joke. I mean, 10 free marks or 20. I think you pick one. 10 free marks. Section 2. See, section 2 is nice. I like it. I feel like it's proper business stuff. I feel like it's a very nice exam. I feel like it's a very good way to test someone's knowledge about the course without forcing them to know every single detail. Yeah, you are given two prompts, two case studies. You have to choose one. You write stuff on it. I think this is probably one of the best IB exam questions sections. I feel like it's very fair. The IB business syllabus is huge, but you get the choice, and not all of it is in it. You don't have to memorize everything. You have to know the key concepts, but you also need to be able to apply stuff. I think this is a very I like section B of paper two for the business exam, at least for SO. I'm not in business HO. But the Kujis is just kind of dislikable. Like I know some people call it quaggies, but really you're throwing down a couple thousand words on paper about one company and two concepts. And once again, this is like English. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about this. This is just like English. You have to memorize 6 points, 6 big points, and then practice connecting these 6 points differently. If you're given culture with identity, for example, it's there's a lot of BSing there. Let's be honest. Oh, and for English paper too, obviously, but also here. We haven't done it in school yet. I mean, we had it on the mock, but I'm not sure it was graded that harshly. It's just a weird exam. Just I don't know. I don't know. Their grading is like a black box there. But I guess it's an okay paper. It's truly a test of open-ended questions, even though the tryhards, and you know who they are, at least at our school, the tryhards basically memorize 36 templates. Um, Nothing wrong with that, but come on, kind of cringe. Um, so I would continue with business. Now, the fourth spot, I think that past this spot, I like every course. Oh, sorry, I forgot the business IA, which I have also not engaged with at all. Only a bit, actually. But this, and I'll get to this later, this is one of the big problems of the IB. I call it IA inequality. I'm going to talk about the computer science IA and I'll talk more on it later. But the computer science IA takes 50 hours, 60 hours, 70 hours. The business IA takes 5. The business IA is a literal essay. It's easier than the Kuji's essay. At least in the classes that I'm in, it's the easiest IA there is. I know the ESS IA is pretty straightforward. I know that what other IAs are straightforward. I'm not sure actually. ESS IA is pretty straightforward. Blah, blah, blah. I've heard economics IA is pretty straightforward, but I'm not in it. It's you just at least for SL you literally find a company and you talk about it and you investigate stuff about it. You basically you go to like 3 web pages with primary research. Literally, you need like 3 sources and then you just copy them pretty much. It's a pretty easy IA. I haven't started with it though. Not good on my part. I should have probably done this one first. Um, but I think it's a pretty fair course, even though I would change a lot of things. Coming up next, we have, let's see. See, I hadn't decided on these ratings beforehand, so I'm just kind of improvising everything. But business is not a bad class. Just want to make that clear. Um, I think that I don't like English, but everything else is okay, I think. And English, it's not that bad, but I don't like it at all. Coming up next, I would probably put Oh, I don't want to have to say this because I really like. Actually, no. This one's more. This one's a better choice. Spanish ab initio. Spanish. I love learning languages. I've been learning German for a couple of years. I love learning Spanish. I don't know. Maybe I'm talented. I just like reading another language. I like listening. I don't know. Maybe I just I can't speak. I'm sorry. It's 2:13. But Spanish ab initio is designed in a very weird way, where the biggest problem is that it's ab initio. You can start from nothing. And the class, that model is broken entirely. Some people in my class have been learning Spanish for years. They don't show it, but I don't know. I don't think it's implemented well. I mean, the implementation is not bad. I can't really suggest anything to improve it because then, even if you remove ab initio classes, then the question is, what do you do about language A level students? So who can take a language at the language arts level? Who take it at B language? Do you get rid of B language as well? I would argue yes, but it gets very complicated. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like that's a big flaw in Spanish. Everything else I feel about this class is fine, but it's a very glaring issue, especially how it's it's an easy class on its own. But if you even have a year of Spanish experience under your belt and you go into the class, come on, it's just a cakewalk. It's like going back to kindergarten and competing with the toddlers. That might be a bit far, but you get the point. The class is cool. I have nothing against it. The concept is just broken. Now, the top three, I would probably continue with computer science. I love computer science as a class, but there are some very awkward components, which I will explain. First of all, theory, paper one. I guess it's okay. I don't see anything wrong with it. I feel like this was tricky to implement by from the IB's part, but I feel like it's been done well and fairly. You have to know your stuff. At the same time, you don't have to memorize a book. You should. Oh, okay. To go back to my grades, I didn't say them. I got a seven in I got a high seven in Spanish. I got a high seven in computer science, so on the mocks. I mean, I like these classes, but computer science has some glaring issues in my opinion. So paper one, there's theory, all right. Then there's some hexadecimal questions, flowcharts, all that. Then there's pseudocode. I feel like pseudocode is okay. Pseudocode tests algorithmic thinking, blah blah. What cannot be quote unquote forgiven, in my opinion, what I feel like makes no sense and really has no role in 2022, and it's just awkward, is paper two. Paper two is the Java paper, the option paper. We're doing Java. You literally have to write Java by hand. Come on. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there are so many better ways to implement this. Maybe not actually. I don't really know how to do this better. Once again, I can't really improve upon the existing system, but I'm just here to criticize it. Nah, I'm just here to give my opinion. I feel like writing Java is weird. I'm not sure. I can understand the algorithmic thinking components in paper one because there's nothing really to memorize. But the Java syntax is just awkward to write during an exam, and it's only a 1 hour exam. So if you like forget something in Java for 10 minutes, you flip around aimlessly, you might be screwed. Paper one, algorithmic thinking, okay. Paper two, Java, why? Besides, I feel like the role shouldn't be to make sure you know Java because you can always just Google stuff in the real coding, which we'll get to the IA. What a pain that is. Oh, I pity the students whose schools don't take option D and have to do the IA all on their own because it's hard enough as it is. So the computer science IA, I will make this claim. is by far, by far the hardest. I think that I'm pretty good at computer science. I got a very good score in my mock. I I didn't really have to try that hard. No, I mean, I did have to try that hard, but I feel like I knew what I was doing. And I also remember that when I was in ninth and 10th grade, when I was a lower classman, all the upperclassmen would always tell me, IB is so hard, blah, blah, blah. And I remember this one person telling me that everyone they knew in their class had a tutor for computer science. A lot of the rumors about IB turned out to be false, but the ones about the computer science IA are true. The computer science IA is absolutely bizarre. You have to make a program on your own, a fully featured GUI one, which took me 40 hours, and I'm not even done with it. I haven't even done the final part, the hardest part. It's very hard. Perhaps, and this not targeting anyone, but perhaps the implementation at my school was suboptimal. But I just feel like there's so much IA inequality for computer science. It took me 40 hours, I'm telling you. 40 hours. And I might even be under exaggerating. Probably am, but let's just say 40 hours as a lower bound, as a higher bound. Sorry, as a lower bound. What's wrong with me? The fact that computer science is an IA which takes 40 hours plus criterion A plus criterion B criterion B on its own is another 10 plus criterion B plus criterion C plus you have to like fake the client stuff maybe. I finally got a real one. It's very awkward. It's just not a fun experience. It's 60 hours. And I just think it's unfair that this one's 60 hours and the business management IA is 5 hours. I mean, I believe that the computer science IA is harder than all of computer science SL year one. We covered most of the SL content. The IA on its own is much harder, much, 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 much harder. I don't know, it's just not a fun experience at all. You have to make a working program on your own. At least we received minimal instruction, deep end, and you need a program done by the end of summer. It's a messy affair. Then the documentation is such a pain. You guys have no idea. Oh my god. Not many people take computer science around the world, but you need a record of tasks or something. You need a record of tasks. You need to like stage communication to the client, or you need to find a real client. You need to get screenshots at different points. You need to develop like massive tables on like testing, versions, screenshots everywhere of everything, success criteria, screenshot every part of your code, explain like every single algorithm you use, all the classes, UML diagrams. Jesus Christ, this is not fair. This IA is harder than 3 of my classes. I would say that this IA on its own is harder than computer science SL without the thing, without the IA, business management with the IA, and Spanish with the IA. Come on, like the computer science IA is so insane. It's so bizarre. It's so crazy. It's such a procedure. I don't know. And the documentation on it is not that good in the sense that there are many resources on it. I can't complain, but it's not one of the popular IAs that everyone has tips on. The computer science IA is by far the hardest and has been my least favorite part. Maybe not my least favorite part, but has been the hardest part of the IB program so far. I feel like that's fair to say. You guys have no idea that the computer science IA is literally crazy. It took me so long just to get a window opening. Anyways, so computer science in third place, which leaves 2 left. Physics and math. For second place, I will choose physics. I feel like physics is very nicely designed. I really like how it's split into SL topics and HL topics because business, for example, has 5 units, five, 5 or 4, let's say 5 units, but HL students have extra topics within those 5 units, and it's so messy. Thank God I'm not. I mean, business HL apparently is very easy, but for physics, SL 1 to 8, HL 9 to 12. Very clean, very nicely organized. There's there's quite a lot to say about this class actually. I was predicted a 6 in physics, which I am most embarrassed about and most disappointed by, but to be honest, I kind of brought it upon myself. But regarding the actual exam itself, paper one is multiple choice. And despite what you might think, it's not easy at all. I feel like paper one does a very good job of examining conceptual skills. I like paper one. I like paper two as well, but paper one's pretty cool. It's so weird. Paper one feels like you must know this stuff better than paper two. Paper two is more long form free response questions. I feel like paper two is also okay. Not much to say. Paper two is the classic stuff. You can get some partial marks if you're lucky. Um, you can't just guess the answer and get that lucky, but there's not much to say. I feel like it's pretty fair. The topics are neatly distributed 1 to 8, up to 12. No confusion. The IA. Fun fact, I haven't done mine yet, even though it's 3 months late, because my teacher who would be my advisor had got the coronavirus, and then I got the coronavirus. So I'm very, 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 very behind in that aspect. But the physics IA is very simple. You do an experiment, you collect data, and you do a big lab report on it. I think that's fair. I feel like that's completely fair, logical, makes sense to me. Not much to say. One of the most straightforward IAs. Time-wise, I haven't done it, so I can't say if it's a lot time-wise, but from what I've seen, and from my experiences with lab reports, if you know what you're doing, I feel like it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna do mine on a pretty cool topic. I'm very interested in doing the experiments. But we'll see. Maybe my opinion will change. We never know. You never know. And the number one spot, my favorite class, the one where, well, actually, I would change something, but I just like it so much. It's such a fun class. Math AAHL. What can I say? I love everything about this class. The environment is great. The syllabus is great. Blah blah. It's just a nice, well-rounded class. I feel like math this year really helped me see so many things. Well, not like see, but understand. I'm doing my E in math, blah blah. Paper one. Oh, I love paper one. I can't say enough good things about paper one. The non-calculator paper, very simple. Don't use a calculator. Pretty good. There's not much to say. The questions are great. They feel like mini puzzles. And furthermore, math has a level of difficulty which other classes don't. When you get a 7 in business, that's pretty cool, okay. But when you get a 7 in math, you deserved it. Or like at least you feel like you did. Great class. Great class. I would change some things about the IA. Paper 2 is calculator questions. I don't like these as much, but I feel like they're fair. These questions are good. Perhaps the class is too hard, maybe. I don't know. But it challenges you, it makes you feel good when you solving these questions feels great. And the procedure about them can be pretty fun sometimes. Going from zero to hero. That was a terrible analogy. But I like the class. The class is great. Paper three, haven't done much practice on it yet, but it's the long and it's two long questions. Each takes 30 minutes, so 1 hour total. Seems pretty cool. Seems pretty cool. I can't really comment on it though. Yeah, math, easy number one spot. The math IA. I'm working on it right now. It's one of the things that I'm gonna do over the summer, other than procrastinate. It took me forever to find a topic. I feel like if there was one thing I could change about math, it would be the IA. The problem is the distinction between investigation and exploration. It's very hard to do this, to say, okay, this is a math IA, this is a math E. You can research this, blah, blah. But my math teacher really helped me find a topic. I got a great topic. I got a great topic. I love my topic so much. I'm not going to say what it is in case someone steals it, but my topic is fantastic. Why is the math IA so weird, in my opinion? So, I was trying to think about what topic I should do, and I came across a bunch of IAs trying to see what others were doing. And it always comes down to two things pretty much. Semi-research papers or modeling. The modeling ones, which were 70%, found something cool and modeled it. Like a basketball tournament. Someone from my school had a very cool one about Pythagoras' cup. I googled it afterwards, it was very fascinating, but these can range from being, at least the ones I read online, very interesting to very boring. And I didn't really like that. The other category, the semi, what did I call it? Semi research, yeah. You find a topic and then you basically research it, but present it as your own work. This is the problem with the Math IA, and this is how I view IB in general, which I will get to more in the second part of this video, which is very soon, which is in like 5 minutes. No one really cares about the IAs. They're just tick boxes. They're just boxes to tick off, maybe boost your grade up a bit. And so it's very easy to do a math IA, but just by researching. Maybe it's not a good one, but you can definitely get a complete draft in that way. I feel like the balance is so hard though, between what counts as your own original work and what counts as research and not a math IA, because the math IA is designed to be an open-ended mathematical exploration about a topic which fascinates you. And to be honest, I don't really understand any of that open-ended mathematic exploration. I can't really describe it because I don't understand that well myself. I got a topic, but it's basically you have to do some of your own math. Not your own math, apply your own math. I feel like that's a good term. I got a great topic now. I can't say how relieved I am, but I feel like the assignment overall is very awkward. Very, it's very awkward. It's very hard to find a topic. You can never know if what you're doing is research or not, or an investigation. I think I actually no, I wouldn't change it. Maybe I would change it a bit. Maybe I would allow more research focused papers, but it's a very hard line. It's tough to do both in the model that I would be suggesting and in the current one. I don't know. Finding a math IA topic is very hard. I'm so glad I finally found one, by the way. I'm so glad. I don't know if I mentioned it. My math IA topic is so good. I love it so much. I'm so relieved I came across this concept. Thank you, Miss. Thank you to my teacher for the concept. Thank you, thank you. It's a fantastic concept. I don't have enough good things to say about it. It's looking for a topic is crazy because yeah, this is the continuation of what I was saying earlier. Looking for a math A topic is crazy because a lot of the math is way beyond your understanding and practically unreachable. Maybe it would be reachable, you might say, but it's just not worth it to spend that much time reading theory of things that you're going to use in 5 years in university or something for a math IA or too basic. This is another problem. What are you gonna do? Solve 1 times 1? It's very hard to find a good topic. And this gets to the third category of the Math IA, which is your own math, which I think is very hard. Um, you need some sort of cool idea. You need some sort of inspiration. If you get inspiration, not just inspiration actually. I feel like the advice that people tell you to find something you're interested in is kind of false. You need somewhere to start. And then maybe you'll get inspired that way. It's like the only way to get inspired is through math. At least for me, my math teachers suggest me a topic, which I liked, but then I found another topic, the Basel problem, and I sort of delved into it. And then randomly, I found another way to do it, and then extend it. The extension is the craziest part. I don't know how that works. It's crazy, but I got lucky. I got lucky. You need inspiration. There's no way to really do it otherwise. It's a tough IA. Maybe I wouldn't change it. It's I don't know. It's tough. And now, my dear listeners, if anyone is still watching this for whatever reason, something has gone wrong. It's been 36 minutes. We get into the nature of the IB, and my opinion on it, uh, and like its relation to the college process in general. I'm a rising senior, and I'm going to be applying to some schools which I don't know yet. The IB, at its core, and I will connect this to colleges. Do not worry. What is it? Well, yeah, sure. Blah, 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 blah. It's an educational program designed to make people responsible, risk takers, the IB learner profile, blah, 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 blah. At its core, let's all be real here. It is 6 exams for 6 classes. Not 6 exams, like 12, 15, depending on how many papers you have. It's 6 topics which are going to be examined on in May or in November, depending when your graduation year is, depending when your month is going on. Everything else comes secondary to these externally graded exams. And this is the problem with the IB, in my opinion. No one really cares about their IAs. I mean, sure, it's a nice way to boost your stuff, but there's already so much other stuff to do that it's put on the sidelines. They're rushed through. No one likes them. No one likes their IA. Even if it's a topic you're interested in, there's always the fear of, oh, I have to finish this paper quickly because if I don't have time to do my English IA or my computer science IA. God forbid, takes months. Jesus Christ, I still can't believe they picked such a hard IA for computer science. For computer science, sorry. It, there's the 6 exams for 6 classes. Each class also has its own IA, which is absurd in my opinion. I think it's just dumb. I can see why it's being done, but this, in my opinion, the problem with this ties in to IB's larger failure, which I will get to right now. I am of the opinion that the IB tries to be an all-inclusive program. You have volunteering, you have philosophy, TOK, you have IAs, you have an EE, you have CAS, oh, another hell. Am I forgetting something? I think that's it. Yeah. Oh yeah, your SLs and HLs, obviously. Of course, the most important part. Volunteering, CAS, is such a dumb concept. I'm genuinely astounded someone sat down, talked to other people, and thought this was a good idea. Come on. Recording community service. You're forcing people to volunteer. I mean, CAS, at least at my school, is something that everyone knows they can fake. And I learned that too. And when it comes to volunteering, there's no reason to go out of your way to do CAS. You just fake it. Or if you don't fake it, you can stretch your things so much. You can reuse an event 2 times, 3 times. CAS is just a dumb concept. CAS is just essays. So like 7 hours total, maybe? That's a lot, maybe. If you do CAS properly, that's quite a bit. That's quite a few hours. But it's just a waste of time. It's literally a box to tick off. It counts, does not count to your score. This does not promote volunteering. This does not increase volunteering. No one actually goes to volunteer to do CAS. If you would be volunteering, I'm of the opinion. If you would go volunteer, you would volunteer without CAS, and CAS won't motivate you. By the way, if anyone is watching, please follow Community Greece on Instagram. It's a very cool volunteering organization, which I'm a member of, but I've been kind of bogged down, not gonna lie. Anyways, to get back to the topic. TOK. Really? TOK is almost as stunning as CAS. Who designed that class? Who designed that class? It's just another box to tick off. You write your TOK essay, mini exhibition. Come on, there's really not much to say. There's a curriculum, no one pays attention. It's literally a waste of time, in my opinion at least. No, I think it's just my opinion. I don't know. I mean, come on, it's TOK. Do I even have to comment on why TOK is silly? Nothing against like, the teacher or the class or anything about it. But it does not do anything it needs to do. It aims to do. It just does not have a role. And once again, this ties into the fact that the IB thinks that it's enough to be your only pastime. The only thing you need to worry about, which is not the case, which I will get to shortly. TOK is not the class that you think about philosophy. It's the class you sleep in because you're sleep deprived or something. I don't know. Extended essay. Um, I don't know if I would keep this. I think that this is better than the IAs. Some IAs are cool. Extended essay, slightly awkward. I don't know if I would keep it. Once again, it's a box that you have to tick off. Although it has a lot more meaning than CAS and TOK because it actually counts to the three for the 3 points. So a B on your extended essay can get you 3 more points if you do well in TOK. But and side note, doing well in TOK has nothing to do with TOK class curriculum stuff. I don't see the connection. Just write an essay. No, oh my god, who designed that? Come on. Someone actually thought this was a good idea. Does this make you a risk taker by procrastinating until the day before to write your TOK essay? Not not ideal at all in my opinion. So extended essay is interesting. Probably one of the most overrated parts of the IB in my opinion. I have a draft ready. I haven't really worried about that much about mine. But I like it. It's a nice procedure. I learned a lot about math and math research. I'm doing mine in math. It sort of got me to see the crazy increases in difficulty. There were some papers that you could not understand anything from the first page. Maybe I would actually keep this. I must say, I like the overall extended essay process. But it's absurd. It's absolutely crazy. The computer science IA is harder than the extended essay. That just tells you all you need to know. I think the extended essay is pretty cool. Actually, I would keep it. It's a nice research paper. You write your stuff, blah blah blah. You have a nice time. Your advisor criticizes you. You go back, you change everything. I would keep it. CAS, TOK, what else? CAS, TOK, IASE. Am I forgetting something? Sorry, one moment. Awkward intermission. I have to Google this. Alright. I feel like that's it. IB wise. What else does IB have? IB learner profile. No, I can't find it. Anyways, I think I discussed about everything. So now we get into the failure of the IB and my opinion on it. It is slightly judgmental to begin with failure, so I guess I should take that back. I don't think it's that bad. If you go to school and you're in 10th grade, by the way, before we get there, there is so much elitism around the IB program. There is no reason why 9th and 10th graders should be saying, I don't want to do IB just because a bunch of dumb juniors and seniors are like, oh, it's so hard, hardest thing ever. It's fine. It's fine. It's manageable. Not ideal though, and I'll get to that later. I don't think it's ideal. If you are in 9th and 10th grade and your school does not offer AP or A levels or anything else and has normal stuff and IB, always go for IB. Always go for IB. It'll impress colleges a lot more if that's what you're going for. Learn a lot more if that's what you're going for. You're gonna have more fun. You're gonna be challenging yourself. Always go for IB in that sense. Don't go for partial. Come on, go for it. You can drop out if you want, but IB falls short on everything. You're investing a lot of effort for basically equal results. IB, unlike every other academic system, does not really have a home language. A levels are optimized for the UK, APs are optimized for the US and the SAT. That's pretty much the two big ones. IB doesn't have a home country. IB courses, first of all, are as hard, if not harder, than some APs and A levels. Let's just say just as hard. Especially some A levels. Some universities give you the same amount of credits for IB and A levels. APs. Even though APs are 1 year classes, and the IB goes way beyond some of the AP syllabi. For example, IB Math AAHL. How is it equal credit-wise for universities than AP Calculus AB? As someone who's taken both, the difference is night and day. One is like, oh, chain rule. I mean, I was a dumbass back then, so I slightly messed some stuff up, but the difference is night and day. And IB classes really don't get the value they deserve. Academically, they're equal to A level classes. So why take 6 when 3 are SLs, which no one cares about, which you don't care about, when you can just take 3, as in the A levels, and concentrate on studying instead of doing a bunch of stupid IAs? Which brings me to my next point, which is time lost. You lose so much time in the IB program to dumb stuff, it's crazy. IAs, extended essay. You might say, oh yeah, I talked favorably about the extended essay. At the end of the day, A-level students don't have to write an extended essay. No one else anywhere in the world has to write an extended essay. No one else anywhere in the world has to write IAs. And no one else has to tick off those boxes. No one else has to write a bunch of stupid cast reflections. And this work is not particularly hard, I'd say. Other than a computer science IA, that is the hardest thing ever. But there are so many challenges which are put in front of you, and they're as if they're roadblocks, because when it comes to colleges, because that's what you're taking IB for, to have a better chance to get into colleges, it's not efficient energy-wise. What if instead of doing your IAs and doing your extended essay and doing CAS and doing TOK and doing all this dumb stuff, You could study for the SAT, or you could do some actual extracurriculars. By the way, the even if you do all the IB stuff, extracurriculars through CAS is just such a silly concept. No one does it. The IB framework, other than 6 classes, is just a loose model that does not work, which everyone has to try to bypass somehow. Get your IAs done quickly, get them through, get your CAS done, do some stuff, whatever. Throw some activities on it. Lie, slander, TOK. Write your essay the day before. Don't pay attention to class ever. It's just a silly framework which has a bunch of so many boxes that have to be ticked off. But once again, I would suggest taking it if you don't have any other options of programs. Even though, compared to any other system, it is definitely not worth it energy-wise. For example, in the US, the best students take 10 APs, more or less. 10 APs, let's say one AP year is equal to one IB year. So they're basically taking 5 years worth of 5 classes worth of IB material. Less. And you have your IAs, extended essay, TOK and whatnot. Jesus Christ. It's you're at a disadvantage. Let's see what else. We're getting to the colleges, which we will go into. We're getting to colleges, which we will go into. But this system is filled with so many barriers you have to jump over for no reason. For example, I'm writing the SAT, and I'll get more into this soon. I'm writing the SAT in a couple weeks, 2 of them actually. I have not started studying. I am not going to study because I have to do my computer science IA, I have to do my math IA, I have to do my English IA. I haven't started on that. I have to do some Spanish stuff. I mean, that's not IB related, but it's not worth it energy wise. And then, never forget when you apply to a college through IB, because you're not in anyone's country, you often have to take everyone's entrance exam, which is already true for the UK. Fair enough. But in the US, for example, come on. And then, oh, we'll get into the college application process more broadly soon, as in right now. I mean, before we do that, actually, I want to study for the German C1. This is actually very important for where I want to go study, but I can't because I have so many IAs to do. 6 to be precise. 6. No. It's just not practical energy wise. What would I recommend? Well, honestly, and we're getting to the college part now. The college system is kind of scuffed, and this is coming from a pretty try-hard student. I've done pretty well academically. I'm kind of a nerd, I guess you could say. Not I guess you could say, actually. It's very scuffed. And let's go region by region. America, the land of the free. This is probably the most scuffed part, and it's actually ridiculous to me. I am going to apply to the US to some reaches um, as a joke, pretty much, just see if I get in. First of all, the costs. The costs. What else do I have to say? The costs are insane, and scholarship opportunities for international students are scuffed. For example, no UCs give any scholarships to international students. It's on their website. No scholarships at all to any international students. And there's 70,000, 80,000. It's very cold where I am. I'm slightly freezing, but of course the show must go on. Then there are some other international school. Then there are some other school in the US. I'm actually freezing, but I will keep on going. Let's exclude all the normal US schools. Because let's be honest, if you're an international student, why would you ever go to the US to study? The cost is ridiculous. So let's say you apply to a reach. The acceptance rates are so stupid that you don't stand a chance. That's very dramatic, but I mean it. And this is, I guess, I'm not complaining about it. This is just how it is. But MIT, MIT every year accepts 120 of 10,000 international applicants. Uh, Basically, you're not getting in. You're welcome. Unless you're a genius, a prodigy, an Olympic medalist, an IMO medalist, or you have some insane extracurriculars. And regarding extracurriculars, oh, my phone just fell. There is a crazy culture in the US about extracurriculars, and I find it kind of scary and kind of, what's the word? Scumbaggy, I guess you could say, douchebaggy. Everyone is doing any extracurricular they can get their hands upon. And I don't feel like it should be like that. I think the college system is too elitist and does not really work that well, in the US at least. But also in the rest of the world because the US, like the cultural leader and whatnot. When I read people on the internet around my age talking about how they're applying some school in the US and how it's like their top choice. Oops, I clicked the play button and it started playing a Door song. Anyways, it's kind of sad because you know they're not interested in all of those things. You know that, okay, of their 8 interests, 2 of them actually interest them. But the other 6 are for Princeton to see, for Yale to see, blah, blah. It's just a very awkward process. And I don't really think it helps anyone. Imagine like going to school and then having to pay off student debt for the next 5 years. That's pretty crazy to me. And the SAT, I mean, I would like to study for the SAT, but I can't because of the IBIAs. Maybe I am, let's be honest here, I am making excuses, but still my point stands. There are so many boxes that IB students have to tick off. It's dumb. I don't like it at all. Even though you should do IB. I feel like it's a nice experience overall. SAT. Come on. Is there anything more try hard than the SAT? People like retake it 5 times. And it's not test optional everywhere. Like MIT still wants it. Blah blah. Pretty crazy. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about the US other than the costs, the conditions. Blah blah. It's very cold. It's very, very cold. Oh my god, I forgot. I forgot. Okay. Half of the universities are on Common App, which helps. And then the other half are either on a UCE portal or on their own portal. Okay, you have to do a bunch of portals. I'm getting shivers just thinking about this. And then every single university, and it's also very cool, every single university has 5 supplemental essays. And the first question is always, why did you pick our university? Like, well, I don't know. I'm reaching. Your school has a bunch of diverse opportunities, which I would be very interested in. As a child, I've had a fascination with your wonderful learning academy or whatnot. So many supplemental essays, it's crazy. And every single college application is also very expensive. 80 USD. The one I want to go to is actually really expensive just to apply. Like 150 Swiss francs. So like 160 euros. Um, Other side of the coin is that the college I want to go to, unlike all the American ones, actually has a payable tuition, 2000, not 2000, 1.5K a year every 2 semesters, pretty much. UK. Um, the UK system is very awkward too because you have A levels, which you should do over IB, in my opinion. Definitely, definitely. I'll get to that in the very end, in the conclusion. What I find weird about the UK system is that you have your personal statement. You don't have a billion supplements like in the US. But at the same time, I am freezing. Every single university has their own entrance exam, or every single university wants to take an entrance exam. So you really have to think about where you want to apply. Like, I want to go to Cambridge, I guess, if I could get a good scholarship, or if I could find some. If the tuition, I haven't, actually don't know about the Cambridge tuition, but if I could find a room like the edge of the city that's pretty cheap, and like I somehow got accepted, I would go. But every single UK university pretty much requires you to take some sort of dumb exam. The STEP math one, which is the one for Harvard and not Harvard. What am I saying? It's cold. It's dark. It's late at night. I'm sorry. The STEP exam, which is the one for Cambridge, Oxford, and some other ones, is crazy, crazy. And this is the thing about being an IB student. You have so many boxes to tick off so that if you wanted to go to the UK for some reason, I don't know why you would want to do that. It's so rainy, blah blah. And everyone speaks in a funny way. But other than that, if you wanted to go to the UK, um, you have to take everyone's entrance exam. So you have to really, really, really know exactly what it is you want to go. Because you can't apply for both math and physics. You don't want to be studying for the STEP exam for this university, then the math admission exam for this university, and the physics admission exam for this university. Is just messy. And then um, other systems. Where I'm Greek, by the way. I should probably have said that in the very beginning. And I'm going to be an international student. I'm not going to study in Greece. I don't know Greek. Τα ελληνικά μου εντάξει είναι λίγο περίεργα και λίγο χάλια. Τέλος πάντων. Where else can an international student go? Well, Canada, but Canada is pretty much USB too. I haven't looked that deeply into Canada, to be honest, but expensive, far, everything is weird. I don't know if it's worth it. And then we are left with one other choice, pretty much. Let me just make sure this is the one. Okay, no, there are some programs in Spain apparently, but they're for more like business stuff. Then there's the Netherlands, which, I mean, cheap. Actually, I don't know. I don't think Amsterdam is cheap city-wise, but tuition's cheap. Very foreign-friendly culture, very cool culture, open culture, Western culture. Um, devil's lettuce is legal there, if that's what you're interested in. Some people, that might be a determining factor for some. I have a friend who wants to study in the Netherlands. I'm gonna apply to the Netherlands, I think, to Delft. What can you say about the Netherlands? Even though, to be honest, Dutch people don't really exist. That is my personal theory. There are just no reasons to be Dutch, anyways. Dutch universities are cheap, cool. I know a bunch of people from this graduating year's class are going there. I am freezing. Uh, then where else can an international student really go? Nowhere else, pretty much. Unless you know some sort of language. Which brings me to my situation. Yeah, I'm such an egoist making everything about myself. Actually, before we go there, you could go to Australia, but I have not looked into that at all. It's just so far away. And like, you don't want to die to kangaroos, you know? Or spiders or snakes. Australia's kind of wild. Um, I uh, It's getting pretty late. This video has gone on for an hour and 5 minutes. Um, oh, I should mention. Sorry, I have a canister of water here, and I'm using it to hydrate myself. I feel like Europe, especially continental Europe, so not the UK, has a much better views on like the college and education systems. Um, in the US, such a such an awkward situation. Like everyone's trying to get the best SAT score, a bunch of extracurriculars, blah blah blah, all for student loan debt, and like maybe they get a good degree from a good school, but is it really worth it? I feel like you should just be yourself. Wow, this just got very philosophical and corny and unoriginal. But some people go so overboard with extracurriculars, it's kind of sad, really. Or the alternative is you get really good at basketball. And you, like toss the ball from here to the other side of the room. Free scholarship, a full ride scholarship to any school you want, or IMO. Yeah, the American college culture is terrible. I'm kind of lucky. I've been learning German, so I have the door open to Switzerland. Assuming I pass this German exam, which I'm gonna write soon, which I can't study for because there are 6 IAs. That's why, and I'm lazy. I can't deny that. I am lazy, but 6 IAs. Yeah, Switzerland. First of all, it's very expensive as a country, but tuition is practically free. 1.5k a year. 1.5k a year. Um, I did the math, and the school I want to go to, the ETH in Zurich. Zurich is the most expensive city in the world, by the way, but you can get a degree there. It's a 3-year degree, and I did the math. It'll cost you a fourth of an American degree's total tuition. Yeah, not worth it. Why would you ever go to the US? Come on, it's crazy. They just, I like the Swiss system. They want some scores, and they also want what is German language proficiency. I'm freezing. I'm sorry. Ich kann nicht sprechen. Es ist so kalt hier. Anyways, I feel like the education system is pretty messed up. At the same time, the Greek system is not much better either, or the Indian system, or the South Korean system, or the Chinese system. Actually, I don't even know. I feel like every education system is kind of scuffed. Like India, South Africa, China. No, sorry, Greece, India, South Korea, and China are all exam based. So you give your final exam, and that determines everything. And it's so competitive. I've seen some documentaries. It's crazy, crazy night and day difference. After watching those documentaries, especially like South Korea, I can no longer complain about the IB. So, moral of the story: learn German, get the C1 degree with 80 and above, get certain IB scores, 38 out of 42, which is not even that bad, and apply to ETH. Cheap, cool, ski. I actually don't know how to ski. I once went snowboarding and I really hurt my wrist. Um, but ski, nature, snow, yeah. Um, and EU. Well, sorry, Schengen, not EU. I think it's Schengen. Anyways, to get back to the original question, should you do the IB? See how I'm just staring at the camera? I'm creating suspense. I think that you should weigh your options. What is that? Sorry, one moment. Stanford Flyer. What a scam. I mean, obviously it's a great school. If I could go to any school, it would be this one, Stanford. But come on, statistically, I did the math, uh, or like I didn't do the math, but I found some statistics. 250 international students go to Stanford each year out of like 15K applicants. Um, I'm not going to count on it, but I might still apply. Stanford's supplementals are also out, so I can get them done with. But I can't do that because I have to do the IAs, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, if I could go anywhere, it would be here. You can't see it because it's backwards, but um, no, I'm going to Switzerland instead. Anyways, should you do the IB? And if not, what other program? Well, no, no, that's actually too quick. But sorry, if you have the choice between the IB and A levels and the classical American SAT AP classes, never take IB in that case. If you have to choose between IB and like regular classes, take IB. It's a qualification, it's a certificate, it's a degree. It'll give your applications credibility, it'll make them stronger, it'll look cool. Universities will like it, all academically challenging. But when you compare it to A levels and AP, SAT, which are supposed to be its equivalents, it is simply not worth it, effort wise. You're getting a very low return on time invested. No country really favors IB. IB courses don't get you much credit. And because no country wants IB, because every other country wants their own stuff, such as A levels or like specific UK exams or SAT or AP or a bunch of extracurriculars, the IB is overall, compared to the A level system and AP system, not worth it. I would suggest, and keep in mind, I have limited information. I haven't been to either of these systems. I'm not saying they're easy. I'm sure they're not easy. Every system is basically the same, pretty much. It's equal because you're competing against other IB candidates. But as an IB candidate, you are putting yourself at a disadvantage time-wise to an AP candidate, I think. For example, or a US candidate. The US candidate does their APs, blah blah, then they did write their SAT. You have to write your APs, sorry, you have to write your IB exams, you have to do your IAs, blah blah, extend essay, TOK, CAS, bam, 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 and then you have to take the SAT. You're screwed in that sense of competition. Uh, it's just not worth it. There are better programs to use your time with. Now, if you have to choose between no IB, as in my school, so not taking IB at all, and IB, I think that it's a tough call, because once again, IB is just not energy efficient. Like the time it takes to do all your IAs and stuff like that is not worth the certificate of IB. You could use the time that you get from doing partial IB very well. You could really invest the time. Maybe, I don't know, you could do a lot of things at the time, but here's the problem. Without IB, you don't have a sense of structure. If you're really disciplined and you can take an online course and then self-study a book to write an exam and study for the SAT and do your stuff without the IB, and basically, if you can make use of the time that you would have from not taking the IB to really elevate yourself, then you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't take the IB program in that case. But I think for most people and myself, it's much harder discipline-wise. It's tough to find the discipline to actually follow a structure and like take classes, write exams without sort of like being in the frame. So I would suggest taking it. If you're at my school, if you're at ACS, take IB. Come on. You can always drop out later. But IB, it's a weird journey. Uh, I'm writing my exams in like 9 months. That's pretty wild. I don't know. It's a tough thing to weigh. Many pros, many cons. It's over. It's it's not that hard, but it's just such a procedure. There's so many things you have to write, so many things you have to do. But at the end of the day, you really have to think about what type of person you want to be. This message is so cringy and corny. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know these things, but I think at least this is all my opinion. By the way, this whole video is rubbish. It's all my opinion. I think that you have to think about where you want to study, why you want to study there, how much it'll cost, what programs they offer. Yes, you want to go to a good school, but you shouldn't do this where you do top 10 schools, top 10 engineering schools, top 10 physics schools. Maybe you should actually, but don't uh don't freak out. Education is a journey, and although maybe the best schools are in the US, you have to remember that you're gonna have to sell some limbs to go study there. Some organs maybe. You're gonna finish your bachelor's and you're gonna have one lung, one liver, I think one kidney, blah blah. Blah. It's really about the journey. IB definitely is not the most efficient means to an end, but I was gonna say a pretty cool journey, but it's not a pretty cool journey. It's a journey. I don't know. It's a tough call. You should always take IB, except for if you can take anything else. Take anything else. This program is just not worth it energy-wise. It's cool. It's cool, but it's just not worth it. And then colleges. I would say that you should try to always understand that you're. I mean, look, I'm 16. I don't really know what I'm talking about. This whole video is rubbish, as I said like a couple seconds ago. Your bachelor's doesn't matter that much. If you're gonna go bankrupt for something, go bankrupt for your master's. Sell your lung there, not at the bachelor's level. I don't know. Just go have fun, I guess. I don't know. Is that a good message? I don't know. I feel like maybe. Now we're getting into hypotheticals. Should everyone really go to college? How do I know if I want to go to college? I don't know. Maybe I'll be better off getting one of those like associate's degrees for business and starting that way. Like I don't know, starting a business. Who knows? But this has been a cool video. Let's see. Do I have anything else? Do I have anything else to talk about? Oh yeah, another really good school, English speaking, in your Bocconi. I don't know how the tuition is, but it's a good school. Uh, and now, at least in my school, it's become a bit fashionable for graduates of my school to go there. There was this girl who went, there was this guy who went, and now from my year, there are at least 5 people applying. Pretty well. They're a good school if you find them. Education is a journey. This whole video, I didn't say many useful things. I just think that you should be honest with yourself. I don't know. I'm a nerd, but I don't think I'm a tryhard. I don't. You shouldn't try that hard, actually. Is that good or no? That's bad advice. Okay. The moral of this video, if you can take one thing away, is A, you should listen to me, and B, you should try to you should maybe actually, I don't know if this is true. You should maybe just do whatever feels right. At the same time, that's so wrong in some situations. Humans wouldn't have gotten here by just doing whatever comes to their head. Uh, I don't know how I'm gonna sit the C1 exam. And my college wants 80 and above. I feel like if I take it right now, I can pass it. 80 and above, maybe not. At the same time, what if I'm lucky? I don't know. Well, college is pretty crazy. Ah, the supplementals. Terrible. The worst part about the US, other than the costs and the SAT and APs and getting no credits for anything you do and not being able to drink if you go there because you're under 21. I'm just saying it's a disadvantage. Then you also have the supplementals. Crazy. Yeah, this has been my actually regarding the US, I am gonna apply to some read schools as a joke. I want to apply to let's see. I'll sound so pretentious saying this. I know. I'm sorry. I'm applying to ETH Zurich, which is my target. Um, every other every other German speaking school in Switzerland, which is three more, with STEM programs. There's a fourth one. Let's say this is ETH. There are three more German speaking schools, four more. I can't speak. What is wrong with me? It's 3 a.m. I'm sorry. There are five German speaking schools in Switzerland. Of these, this is ETH Zurich. This is my target. Four left. However, one of them, I don't know what it's called, has no STEM subjects. Bye bye. So I'm really applying to four. Four. In Switzerland, maybe some in Germany, some in Munich for sure. One in the Netherlands, Delft. One of my friends is applying there as well. And I'll apply to some crazy US reaches like MIT and Stanford, even though the acceptance rate is terrible, especially for international students, especially when you consider the fact that the people applying to these schools are already like top 70th percentile. Um, Something else about Zurich that is really cool. It's a non-competitive entrance. So the way it works is that it's a 3-year bachelor's program. Every bachelor's there is 2 years. It's kind of dumb. Like I looked at the class for the first year, and apparently they're they're it's kind of compressed. And the problem is in the first year. It's called the Basisjahr. Basis. I don't know how to translate this. Basis. There's no way to translate this well. The first year, pretty much. It's uh, it's non-competitive, which means if you meet the requirements, you get in. Simple as that. If you don't meet the requirements, you have to write an exam, which would be terrible for me because that would require me to start learning stuff in Swiss German, like specific terminology from right now to sit the exam, which would not be ideal. I don't know why I'm writing the SAT. I'm not going to get into Stanford or MIT. And even if I do, but which I'm not because I'm not an IMO gold medalist or an Olympic gold athlete, um, I wouldn't be able to pay for it. But yeah, what a world. I don't know. The education system is kind of weird, kind of messed up. Oh, it's 3:23 a.m. I feel like it's time to close this vlog with very high production value. I'm not gonna sleep though. I'm gonna keep working on my computer science IA. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. I'm lazy, so I have to compensate for the laziness during the day to my numerous, and by that I mean three, supporters from all around the world. If anyone is still watching, thank you for your time, attention, and patience. You have probably fallen asleep. Bye.